Fingerbobs. Yuffie lifts a finger, and a mouse is there. Puts his hands together, and a seagull takes the air. Yuffie lifts a finger, and a scampi darts about. Yuffie bends another, and a tortoise head peeps out. These hands were made for making, and making they must do.
Well, I've got all these feathers, but I'm going to need a lot more for my story today. And who better to get me some feathers than my friend Gulliver? None better, says Gulliver, and that's true. Some of my best friends have got feathers. They have. I'll see what I can do.
I like to rise and spread my wings, white upon the breeze. I like to soar and spread my wings above the roofs and trees, and then to swoop down into the town, fold my wings behind my back, and see what's going on.
Something's coming. What bird is this? With a crest, and what a tail. It looks like it's got eyes in it. Must be a peacock. A peacock's feather would be great. I think I'll stick around. Maybe I'll be lucky. He'll drop one. I think Gulliver's going to be some time. What about you two getting some feathers? Leave it to us, eh, Flash? Says Fingermouse. Yes, says Flash. We'll fix it up. Don't you worry.
Fingermouse, Fingermouse, the never stop to think a mouse, the always on a brink a mouse. Fingermouse, that's me. I am the mouse called Fingermouse, the mouse with guts and verve. I get past cats so easily with my famous body swerve. Fingermouse, Fingermouse, I'm a sort of wonder mouse, a hit, a miss, a blundermouse. Fingermouse, that's me.
Oh, it's a breezy day, all right. I've got a feeling things are going to blow my way. What's that over there? Farmyard birds. Where there are birds, there are feathers. Good thinking, Fingermouse. Look at all those feathers on the ground. Yeah. What's that strange feathered creature? It's not a feathered creature at all. It's a hedgehog with feathers caught in its prickles. If I could get him to roll down that slope, he can pick up the feathers with his prickles, save me an awful lot of trouble. I say, prickly friend, would you mind tucking your nose in and rolling yourself up into a ball? Then you could collect me some feathers in your prickles as you roll downhill. All right, says Hedgehog. On your prickles, get set, go. Some feathers for you, says Fingermouse. Well done, Fingermouse. What a marvelous lot of feathers. What's your friend's name? I call him Prickly Friend, says Fingermouse. He seems to answer to that. Don't you, Prickly Friend? Don't you, Prickly Friend? Prickly Friend. You answer to that name, don't you? See? Patience is a virtue, says Gulliver, which will be rewarded by a feather.
Slowly, steadily, I move at my own pace. They call me Flash, though I won't dash. Who wants to run a race? As long as I get there, why worry? What's the hurry?
Lots of birds about, says Flash. Maybe some feathers will fall my way.
This is where the Flash special shell comes in handy.
I'll leave my shell here and see what happens. In the wood, 2 sparrows want to build a nest. This is a good place to build a nest, says one. Let's look around. Yes, let's look around. What's that down there? I don't know. What is it down there? Well, let's go and see then. Yeah, let's go and see. It'll make a good nest. It'll make a very good nest. Bit hard, though. Yeah, it's a bit hard. Needs lining with something soft. Like feathers. Yes, like feathers. It's a great nest. Yes, it is a great nest. Feathers, says Flash. It's full of feathers. I say, you two, do you mind if I have my shell back and borrow these feathers for a bit? I'll return them to you. There you are, Flash. Nice to see you. Fingermouse is back. But I don't know what's happened to Gulliver. What on earth are you following me about all the time for? As a matter of fact, said Gulliver, I'd like a feather. A feather, says the Peacock. Why didn't you tell me in the first place? Well, I was a bit shy, actually, says Gulliver. There you are. Nothing could be easier. If only you'd told me in the first place. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's being followed about. Thank you, said Gulliver. If only people would say what they meant. There you are. There's a feather, a rather special feather. Took a lot of getting. It's a peacock's feather, you know. I know. And it's beautiful. It's all I need to start the story. There once was a hat, a very special hat. It was made from the feathers of many different birds. Nobody remembered when it had been made. It was such a long time ago. But everybody agreed that it was a very beautiful hat, especially when a breeze came and ruffled the feathers. The hat belonged to a family called Chung, and it was always worn by the eldest boy in the family, as soon as he was big enough to wear it. And now it was the turn of a boy called Bong to wear the wonderful hat. But Bong didn't think the hat was all that great. In fact, he didn't want to wear the hat at all. "But you must," everybody said. "It's such a wonderful hat." So he wore it, and everybody was glad to see him as he walked by. Seeing the hat made them feel happy. They waved and smiled at him. "Such a wonderful hat," they said. "Such a truly wonderful hat. Looks great on Bong, doesn't it?" But Bong wanted to get rid of the hat. He'd much rather walk around without anything on his head. So he tried to get rid of the hat. But whatever he did, the hat always came back to him. He threw it away one windy day, and it got caught on a tree. But then the wind blew it back onto his head. He stuffed it down a hole in the forest. But the rabbit who lived in the hole brought it back to him. He dropped it in the sea. But a fisherman caught it and returned it to him. Whenever he lost it, it was always found. He just didn't know what to do to get rid of the hat. Then he had an idea. "I know," he said. "I'll take it to pieces, feather by feather, and throw the feathers away." So one by one, he threw the feathers into the air. They blew away and didn't come back. There was no hat left. "That's done it," he said. At last, he could walk around bareheaded. But people were so disappointed to see him without his hat that instead of waving and smiling to him as he went by, they just looked sad. It made him feel sad to see them unhappy. "I wish I could get my hat back," he said. As soon as he said that, he heard a whir of wings above his head. All the birds from whose feathers the hat had been made brought them back to him, one of each kind. And in no time at all, his hat was made again. He was happy. And so was everybody to see him wearing it. Once again, they waved and smiled as he went by. "I'll keep this hat always," he said. But he didn't, because as soon as his son was old enough to wear the hat, he gave it to him. And that's the end of the story.